Loaded show ahead here on this edition of Ravens Rundown, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. Could the Baltimore Ravens be trading up from the 30th overall pick? We'll explore that possibility and who they could be in the market for coming up on today's show. Also, Dalton Risner. Could the Ravens be in the market to sign the former Broncos and Vikings offensive lineman after the NFL draft? We'll look into that in just a matter of moments. Before we do, with the draft just around the corner, if you want Eric DeCosta, John Harbaugh, and the Ravens staff to have a great draft, do your part. Like the video. Don't jinx it. Don't take any chances on it. Let's show some love for the Baltimore Ravens. Get some good vibes going ahead of draft week. Do your part. Like the video. We'll get started with today's show. Could the Ravens be trading up? Pro Football Focus is suggesting that the Ravens could do so in order to secure an offensive lineman with their first-round pick. Here's more from PFF. Baltimore picks at number 30 overall and could draft a falling tackle with players like Oklahoma's Tyler Guyton and Arizona's Jordan Morgan frequently being linked to the Ravens in mock drafts. I like the idea of Baltimore being aggressive, especially if a player like Washington's Troy Fautanu or Penn State's Olu Fashanu reaches the midpoint of the first round. The Ravens would likely need to add a second and a fourth-round pick to get up into that range, but given their needs at the position this year and next, it's a move that could set them up for the next 5 years at left tackle. Now, folks, this isn't crazy, all right? Hear me out on this. There's a very real possibility that if the Ravens were to stay at 30, that all of the top offensive linemen, specifically the tackles, are gone. We've talked about that possibility within the last week or so, that they could be sitting there at 30 and all of a sudden Guyton and Mims and Morgan are all gone. And do you want to risk putting yourself in that position when you're a Ravens team that's so close? You don't have a ton of needs to address as you're trying to take that next step and get to the Super Bowl. So it could be a risk worth taking of giving up some draft capital to make sure you get that offensive lineman in the first round. So here's one possibility. Here's one idea the Ravens could do. Let's take a team like the Colts who pick right in the middle of the first round, right? Let's give up our 30th pick, move to 15, package a second and a fourth, and that could put you in a position to get a guy, let's say like Troy Fautanu, for example, and a guy that plays tackle and guard, find a place on your offensive line, and then whenever Roddy Stanley moves on, then you have your starting left tackle, the future for many years to come. So although it may be kind of outside the box, I'm not ruling out this possibility. I agree with PFF here. Watch out for the Ravens as potential movers in the first round of the draft to potentially trade up. Let's ask you guys, our pin comment today, should the Ravens trade up from the 30th overall pick? Why for yes and for no? Weigh in our pin comment today and let us know what you think. We're going to have more in just a moment, by the way, on Troy Fautanu and look into the possibility of the Ravens drafting him. If they were to move up, what are they potentially getting? We'll explore it in just a matter of moments. Before we do, let's tell you about today's sponsor. That is Game Time. Game Time, the best place to go for last-minute tickets for the lowest prices guaranteed. Whether you're looking for tickets to sporting events, concerts, theater productions, comedy shows, and more, Game Time has got it all. You pick the event you want to go to. They have the prices listed. From there, you choose your seat. You might stumble upon a flash deal. See if you like that seat or not, and then within a matter of moments, you're checking out on Game Time. Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. Game Time's got you covered. And to add a little incentive for you, we are offering you $20 off your first purchase when you use the promo code ChatSports. Yes, you heard that right. $20 off, promo code ChatSports at checkout. Download Game Time today. Terms and conditions do apply. $20 off your first purchase with promo code ChatSports. Download Game Time today. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Now, why a trade potentially makes sense for the Baltimore Ravens? I know that's giving up a lot, a first, a second, and a fourth to go up 15 spots, but you don't have a ton of needs. This is a Ravens team that's really, really close. And when we look at this draft, the position the Baltimore Ravens are in, you cannot afford to miss on the offensive line. If you don't have an offensive line, you're not going anywhere next year. I can tell you that right now. Your season's basically over before it starts. A guy like Troy Fautanu, for example, if you were to select him with your first-round draft pick, you're looking at the best offensive guard in this year's draft, according to Mel Kiper. Now, Fautanu says that he feels like he's a tackle. I believe that Todd Monken and the Ravens are going to get the most out of him either way. Maybe he starts at a guard for now and you move him to tackle later, but whatever it may be, this could be a very good player the Ravens get and be worth moving up to 15. You look at the numbers from Pro Football Focus last year, a 75 overall grade, not bad, allowed 2 sacks, did get called for 6 penalties, so he'll need to work on that, but overall, this is a very good prospect who's got very good athletic ability, delivers jarring blows. He's agile, quick and pass pro, maximizes length, inconsistent at set points at times. And there was news that came out today, potential concerns about his knee, although he's never missed a game because of it. So, what do you guys think about Troy Fautanu? Should the Ravens draft him? Weigh in. D for draft, P for pass. Tell me in the comments section below. Chat Sports is the place to be for the 2024 NFL Draft. We will have live coverage on our main Chat Sports channel on NFL Daily beginning at 6 p.m. on Thursday night. Every pick, all 7 rounds, all beyond from time to time. You'll see Tom Downey, Jack Sperry, Matthew Peterson, our entire crew. Going to be a fun couple days and doing it the Chat Sports way. Nobody has fun like we do here at NFL Daily. Join us beginning on Thursday. YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV is where you can subscribe and see our live coverage of the 2024 NFL Draft. It'll be on our main Chat Sports channel. YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV. Make sure to join us. We'll see you then. Dalton Risner, could he be on his way to Baltimore? Bleacher Report is suggesting that the Ravens could make a move to sign the veteran offensive guard after the NFL Draft. Here's what Christopher Knox had to say about the possibility. Risner will likely find a landing spot at some point after the draft, which he did last season, signing with the Vikings in September. Ideally, though, he'll land with a good team and with an opportunity to start. The Baltimore Ravens could be an ideal spot for Risner as Baltimore remains one of the top teams in the AFC. The Ravens also lost starting guards Kevin Zeitler and John Simpson in free agency. Now, I'll say this. I'll take it even a step further. You see Bleacher Report bringing up this possibility if they miss on the offensive line, which we mentioned. That's a possibility if you stay at 30. The good ones might all be gone by then. Then you're trying to look for options, right? Even if they get what they want in the offensive line, I still like the idea of bringing a Dalton Risner on a 1-year contract and having him take over as a starter just for this year until you find more pieces and continue to develop. And this is somebody that has been very solid over the last several seasons, very dependable. He's played in 77 games over 5 years, 73 career starts, a good leader. I liked him all the way back when he was with the Kansas State Wildcats, when he was a 3-time All Big 12 selection there and was the voice of the locker room, known as being a very good leader. His numbers, Pro Football Focus doesn't do him any favors by giving him a 57.1 grade, but what I do like of what you see here, no sacks allowed last year in 745 snaps. So the most important part, protecting the quarterback, he did last season with the Minnesota Vikings. So Dalton Risner, I would welcome the potential addition to bring to the Baltimore Ravens, even if they do end up drafting what they want when it comes to the offensive line. So, should the Ravens sign Dalton Risner? What do you guys think? S for sign, I for ignore. What do you think? Would you like the idea of bringing a veteran offensive guard like Risner, who's still relatively young, only been in the league 5 years? Let me know what you think. S for sign, I for ignore. Thanks for joining us here on Ravens Rundown. An exciting week ahead. We're going to be breaking down the picks as they happen throughout the next couple days. Any breaking news that goes on. Remember last year on draft day, Lamar Jackson signed a massive extension before the draft started. Whatever happens, we're going to talk about it here on the channel. So lock us in, subscribe. Don't miss a moment of the latest happenings on your Baltimore Ravens all week long right here on Ravens Rundown. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.